Hello everybody, welcome to a World of Warship Blitz video. I'm going to be going through the new Tier 9 Premium Japanese cruiser. Yes, another Tier 9 Premium. This is the Azuma. So when I first got it, there's not a lot of details when you pick it up in the mail. You just sort of get it and then you're staring at this thing and wondering what it is. So it looked a little bit like a battleship, so I've kitted it out a little bit like a battleship. I've had a few battles, but the results haven't been astounding, and partly that's because it's Tier 9, which I probably don't play that often, and partly because I think the features of the ship aren't in my strong areas. So we're going to have a look through the stats anyway, and rather than a random battle, we'll do a co-op battle so that you can at least see the sort of the basic performance characteristics. So what I'll do is I'm going to compare it with Seattle, which will become obvious once you see it in a game. My gosh, look at that size difference. Or the Donskoy here, which shall become obvious, I think, when you look at the stats. So basically the Azuma is it's built in 1945, so obviously it's a very modern cruiser. 43,000 damage hit points, 14% damage reduction. I have obviously kitted it out with the damage reduction mods, which will help. As its elite bonus, it actually has the opportunity for further damage reduction, but I have taken the boost on the reload time and the improvement on the main battery traverse speed because I have taken in the first slot the dispersion. So, and that's the reason I'm comparing it with the Seattle and the Donskoy, is because it's more of a standoff cruiser. So its hit points, Citadel Protection 12.5%. So if we compare it with the Donskoy, it's a tough ship compared to the Donskoy, and a reasonably tough ship even compared with the Seattle. So high-end cruiser, or bottom-end battle cruiser, take your pick. Its speed, time to full speed is 20 seconds. Its speed 33 knots, which I would probably say is fairly standard, a bit quicker, but not quite as fast as the Donskoy. Faster, but with slower acceleration than the Seattle. And the turn time, 9.3 seconds, right? The Seattle eats us for breakfast as far as turn time. And I think that's one of the things that I'm struggling with, is that I tend to be a bit more of a brawler, and slow turn times means don't get into a brawl. Right, where it becomes significantly different is in the guns. And I'll give you a hint. We're not going to be checking out its torpedoes because it doesn't have any. Yes, a Japanese cruiser above Tier 2 that doesn't have torpedoes. But what it does do is it has these secondary guns and these main guns. Now these main guns are very powerful. Now the problem is it's a little bit like the Seattle. The Seattle only has main guns, right? Very powerful, relatively quick firing. So 6-inch, it has 12 of them. 6-inch guns, okay range at nearly 12 kilometers. But the with sort of, average damage, about 500 to 570, depending on what you do use. Oh, and let's have a look at its fire chance, 5%. The Azuma takes 13 seconds to reload, over twice as long. It has nearly double the damage, it has twice the fire chance, and it has over double the damage, or it has about double the damage for its main AP battery. So it has, instead of 6-inch guns, it's got 310mm, which is 12-inch or 12.5-inch. Someone else will obviously sort out the math for me. Yes, so these are very powerful guns, but man, do they fire slow. And without torpedoes and with automated secondaries, you spend a lot of time waiting between shots, so you should have no problem with situational awareness in this ship. If we compare it with the Donskoy has an 11-second reload time, so nearly as long. It's got 180mm guns, so it'd be 7-inch-ish. I know it's, yeah, anyway. So it doesn't, yeah, so it's streets ahead from a fire, from a hitting perspective of either of those two cruisers, particularly the Seattle, although the Seattle has that high fire rate. Right, back to the Azuma. It has the Secondaries, 3.6 kilometre range, 1% fire chance, 236 damage, 6-second reload. I'm going to be honest here, I consider automated secondary guns to be some sort of early warning system rather than actually anything to rely on. So essentially you got your main guns. AA damage, let's have a look at the AA damage. Well, let's go for the surface detection because that's going to be really easy. Surface detection on all the ships is terrible, apart from Seattle, which is a bit smaller and definitely shows its sign as a light cruiser. But between the Azuma and the Donskoy, no point in worrying about surface detection. You'll be detected. Fortunately, they both have very good range. Hold on, let's have a look at the range. So it's 13 kilometres for the Azuma, and, well, only 11 kilometres, but there's a bit of upgrading to be done in the armoury for this ship. Right, but the AA damage, 340 AA damage, large calibre, and nearly 200 small calibre compared with Seattle. Yeah, the Seattle has the small calibre sewn up, but this has fantastic AA damage. However, I think from memory the Seattle has, let's go look this up, seeing as I know where to find it. The Seattle has the air defense alert. What the Azuma has in its back box of tricks, and it does have a box of tricks, is this rather gun orientated box of tricks, a precise aiming system and a rapid reload. It also has sonar. Now the ship isn't that manoeuvrable, so it's a bit like sonar on the Bismarck or the Tirpitz. It's a way of telling how much trouble you're in. It's sort of a way to prepare for the unpleasantness rather than avoid it so much. So instead of getting hit by a full spread, you might get half a spread, which, it's a fairly strong ship. The other thing I'll compare it to is another Tier 9, and that will be the, let's go for the Tier 9 Izumo. Okay, right, so obviously the Ibuki is the normal cruiser, the Azuma is the heavy cruiser, and the Izumo is the battleship. Let's go have a look at hit points. The Azuma, 44,000. The Azuma, 43,000. This may be the missing ship that we were looking for. The Azuma does have better protection and damage reduction, that's for certain, right? So 21% damage reduction, torpedo damage reduction on the Azuma, 15% with that, nearly 15% with that, with the damage reduction mod on the Azuma. Damage reduction of 9% versus 15% on the Azuma. But on the guns, well, I'm going to have to say that the layout of the guns on the Azuma are much nicer than the layout of the guns on the Izumo, the battleship. So here they do 1,000 or 1,200 damage with a 10% fire chance, firing 13 kilometres every 13 seconds. And for the Izumo, every 21 seconds you fire 13 kilometres, you do about 1,000 damage. You can do about 1,600 AP damage, so much harder hitting AP, and a 14% fire chance. But that gun layout, that rear turret, is really in an unfortunate position. So the Azuma has got more of a North Carolina. It's got one turret on the rear, two turrets on the front. So there you go, some facts about the Azuma. I'm not going to go into a random battle and humiliate myself yet again because I am gearing up to go overseas. I am going to instead show you what it's like against, well, let's put it this way, less capable opponents, but you'll be able to see the performance of the ship. And also you'll have to spend less time waiting for the game to start. So what we're going to do here is just take it out in its paces so you can see its turning capability or lack of it. so that you can see its gun range. You can see how those the rapid reload. Oh, we've got lots of friends in this one. How the rapid reload works with the precise aiming, which is a skill I have yet to master. So here we go, heading out for on the encounter map. So what I'm going to do here is, well, basically it's nice and simple. I'll find the other human player and we'll go stomp things together. Where's the other human player? There he is, JLG. The rest are all sort of helpless bot players. We have 3 destroyers on the enemy team. So at long range I've been loading up HE simply because HE does, well, if the first thing you encounter is a destroyer, that's nice and handy, and the second thing is that it does damage, it doesn't bounce off. So you can get some nice fires started. So over on the other side we have a Kagero, which I'm not going to shoot at. We have a Fletcher, which I might shoot at because it's fairly close. Now, oh hello, that's nice and handy. So I think he's moving slow enough for that to do the business. Let's see if we can get some shots in. So now I've got 13 seconds of helplessness. That was sort of unpleasant. There's no torpedoes. Here comes the automated secondaries. And yeah, and right, here we go. Yeah, it's not a lot of fun shooting at bots. Let's get the rapid reload up. You see, those are our fires. And then this Wichita. And we'll load up some AP for him. As you can see, it's pretty tough. Taking a lot of damage here, but lack of secondaries makes for a real nerves of steel game. Here we go, nice Citadel on him. Let's turn ourselves away, bringing ourselves up to speed, and 4 hits. Yeah, no, I prefer human players because human players obey the laws of physics. But anyway, there's our nice amounts of damage there, you can see. As long as you hit things, the ship is very good as long as you... Okay then. Right, that's handy. Here's a Shokaku. We'll make him regret staying out in the open. Is he moving? In fact, he's the only guy that's left. And our ship's, what's he doing? Is he going to be accelerating? There he is, he's starting to move. Okay. Good at long range, which you didn't get to see a lot of. Anyway, I think you got to see the turn performance. So yeah, this ship will be very capable in the hands of those who are used to the Russian cruisers. This is like a Russian cruiser in some respects, like those high-end Russian cruisers. However, it has reasonable armour. So, but that's not my strength. So unfortunately, that's what you get from me today. I hope that helps you. Yep, more Tier 9 premiums coming by the looks of it. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.